Your blood stains your armor, and your hands tremble uncontrollably. The weight of your blade feels almost unbearable now, doesn't it? I watch as your knees falter and your breath comes in uneven, shallow gasps. Your eyes, veiled in anguish and regret, betray the torment within. For a fleeting moment, I wonder if you might simply cast everything aside and allow the darkness to claim you. Perhaps because surrendering to that cold void, where pain and meaning both vanish, seems easier. But I beg you, do not yield. Not now. Not in this way. I understand your plight. You are utterly exhausted, drained to your very core, and yet no one notices the countless nights you spend alone, staring blankly at ceilings that offer no solace. They are unaware of the silent wars you wage against inner demons that emerge when the world grows quiet. They only see the mask of strength you project, never noticing the cracks beneath it, the moments when you crumble, fists clenched and eyes aflame with sorrow, stifling screams you dare not release. And tragically, you're beginning to believe that facade, convinced that if you collapse now, no one would even notice your fall. But listen closely, I am here and I see you. I see every mark on your skin, every scar, every bruise, every fractured piece of your spirit that you fight so hard to mend. I hear the muted cries and the prayers that choke in your throat, uttered so often in desperate pleas for salvation that they seem futile. I know the weight of your pain because I have known it too. I understand the sting of betrayal, the way those you once trusted, the very people you'd have sacrificed everything for, abandoned you. I know how words can wound deeper than any blade and how fragile promises can shatter like glass. I have tasted that bitterness, that despair that courses through your veins and makes you question whether rising again is even worth the effort. You have lost so much, pieces of yourself you may never recover, and those who vowed to stand by you have vanished when you needed them most. And yet, despite all of this, here you are, still breathing, still fighting. Perhaps that is the cruelest irony of all. Despite every lie and every stab in your back, you refuse to surrender. This is not weakness, nor is it failure. It is survival. It is strength, for anyone can battle when fortune smiles upon them, but it takes a rare, indomitable spirit to persist when all is stripped away, to drag yourself through hell with nothing but broken bones and bloodied knuckles. That is a flame that burns on, nourished solely by agony and rage. So, cry if you must, let your tears flow, for no one is keeping score. And even if they are, to hell with their watchful eyes. Every scar and every tear-streaked breath is a testament to your journey. Let the sorrow tear at you if it must. But never, ever stop fighting. Do not allow them to claim victory, for every breath you draw is an act of defiance. Each step you take is a resounding rebuke to the darkness that seeks to engulf you. As long as you continue to breathe, there is always a chance to transform your fate, to rise, battered yet unyielding, and force them to reckon with your strength. They may call you weak, claim that hope is futile, and mock your failures, but they do not know the battles you have fought, the depths from which you have clawed your way back. Let them laugh if they must. A true warrior is not measured by his triumphs but by the relentless will to rise after every fall. It is not about never stumbling. It is about how many times you can be brought low, shattered and bleeding, and yet still drag yourself back to your feet. Every wound becomes your armor. Every scar is a reminder that you survived what was meant to destroy you. So do not surrender. Not today, not ever. There is still too much left to fight for, even if the future seems obscured. And if the world demands conflict, wage a war that will be etched into memory. Burn so brightly that even the shadows recoil, becoming the terror they never anticipated. You are a warrior. Embody that truth. They may insist that warriors do not cry, that strength lies in silent stoicism, but you know that real strength is found in admitting your fractures and choosing to battle on. True power is not in pretending to be unbreakable. It is in kneeling on shattered glass with blood on your hands and still locking eyes with your inner demons, defiantly whispering, "Not today." It is in the cracked timbre of your shouts at the heavens, demanding answers that remain elusive, and yet rising again. So weep if you must, and scream if it brings relief. There is no disgrace in releasing your pain unfiltered. The real disgrace lies in letting that agony consume you, in allowing it to bind you until you forget how to fight back. Do not grant it that victory. You have bled too much to now let yourself drown. I know it is arduous. The nights stretch on endlessly, and dark shadows prowl like ravenous wolves, leaving you alone with thoughts that slice deeper than any sword. I see you lie awake, fists clenching the sheets, replaying every mistake and every moment of failure. And yes, the overwhelming guilt and regret twist tightly around your throat, whispering that this is the end, that you will never escape, that you are not enough. But listen, that voice is a liar. It seeks to shatter you, to make you surrender, to convince you that your scars define you. Yet those very scars are proof of your battles, evidence that you survived wounds that would have broken lesser souls. They are the armor forged in fire and agony, a reminder that you are still here when so many would have fallen. The world is unjust. The virtuous stumble while the wicked prosper. Promises shatter, hearts are forsaken, and it may seem that the deeper you care, the more you suffer. Yet the answer is not to stop caring, nor to erect walls so high that you isolate yourself entirely. That is precisely what the darkness craves. Do not let it render you numb or hollow. Continue to care, even if it tears you apart. Keep fighting even when it feels futile. Every time you rise again, you prove that you are stronger than the pain, the betrayals, and the darkness that has pursued you from the start. Perhaps you believe it is too late, that you have erred beyond repair, but as long as your heart beats, there is time to rewrite your destiny. The past is a graveyard. Let the dead rest. Stop unearthing old wounds, and do not let the ghosts of regret chain you to what cannot be changed. The only path is forward, one painful step at a time. Even if you feel reduced to crawling, even if every part of you screams to surrender to the darkness, keep moving. Drag yourself through the mire of agony and the endless night, for somewhere ahead a new dawn awaits. A dawn ready to incinerate this despair, even if you cannot yet perceive it. Stopping now will bring a pain that few dare to speak of, for healing is never a pristine process. It involves reopening wounds that never fully mended, purging the toxins until you are left raw and vulnerable, and confronting the inner demons that murmur deceits as if they were truth. Some scars will remain indelible, and some pain permanent, but you do not have to face it alone. There are others, scarred souls fighting silent wars, who understand your struggle. Seek them out, those who bear their marks like armor rather than hide them in shame. Stand beside them, even if words fail to explain why your hands tremble or why you sometimes struggle for breath. Warriors are not meant to fight in isolation. They forge bonds, intertwining shields and unyielding spirits. Even if the path seems barren, you must keep moving, dragging yourself forward with every agonizing step, for surrendering to the darkness is not in your nature. You are a soul that burns with an unquenchable fire, defying gods and demons alike, refusing to yield. You are not a victim or a tragic tale of the past. You are a raging wildfire, transforming pain into power, grief into fuel, a testament that even the most fractured spirit can become a force to be feared. Let your defiance ring out like a roar to the uncaring heavens, to silent gods, and to adversaries who believe you are at your end. Make them hear your rage, your sorrow, your defiance. Show them that your struggle is far from over, that you have too much to fight for, even if shrouded in blood and tears. Somewhere out there, a new dawn awaits, when you will rise from the ashes with eyes blazing like infernos and a spirit that cannot be broken. Pursue that dawn relentlessly. Suffer and sacrifice if you must. Obliterate every obstacle until the world is compelled to remember your name, the name of the warrior who refused to die quietly. They may strip away your faith, your innocence, and your trust, but they cannot extinguish the fire within your chest or the resolve that keeps your spine unyielding. They may try, but as long as you continue to rise, the darkness will never prevail. So, tighten your grip on your blade, wipe away the blood from your eyes, and rise once more. Rise with every ounce of fury, sorrow, and defiance that has sustained you this long. Emerge like a tempest that no shadow can quell, like a relentless nightmare that will forever haunt the darkness. Make them tremble at your presence. Let the darkness regret the day it ever reached for your soul. And never cease fighting, never now, never ever.